Good evening, everyone. We are so glad you could join us for the 2020 Imara Virtual Gala. And if you're joining us from the comfort of your desk, your family room, maybe even your kitchen table, we are glad you are here. While it would be wonderful to be sitting in a big ballroom around tables with friends and family, that we could chat and catch up with each other, and also that we could feel and experience what has been an incredible event these last 9 years, it's just not possible this year. We're making the best of it, though, and I hope that you find tonight's program as meaningful as we have had in the years past. Very quick introduction. My name is Cindy Hilger, St. Martin's by the Lake Episcopal Church. Our congregation has been grateful to support Imara since it all began, even a little bit earlier. You see, Carol Erickson was our youth and family director before she moved on to Messiah, and she has many friends and deep roots in our church. Well, tonight we are building this gala around a Bible verse that you may be familiar with, and if not, you'll understand why this fits. It's from the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 14, and it reads, "You have been created for such a time as this." And this is a time unlike any of us have ever seen before, where everything from how we work, how we teach our children, how we even see our grandchildren, how we socialize, and of course, how we attend events like this, it's all changed. But Esther challenges us that in times like this, we are called to stand up, to support each other, to offer a hand up to each other, and to truly make a difference in the lives of others. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And as unwieldy as all of this technology can be, we're going to take you to Kenya, and you're going to hear from Carol, you're going to hear from the new Kenyan board president, and of course, some of the Imara girls. I think it is going to be a night to remember. Before we begin, though, I would ask you to bow your head in prayer. The Lord be with us. Heavenly Father, we would ask for your presence and blessing as we gather around our screens tonight to celebrate all who work and care for the girls and babies of Imara. Our prayer tonight is that your will be done through our time together, and that you would give us strength and courage to act boldly and lovingly in support of Imara. Let us be mindful of the words of Esther. Yes, God, we have been created for such a time as this. Lord, we ask that you hear our prayer. Amen. Okay, let's begin. And who better to start us off than our beloved Executive Director, Carol Erickson. Now, to say this has been an eventful year for Carol would be a huge understatement. And I know many of us are wondering how she's doing and how COVID has impacted life at Imara House. So let's find out. Carol joins us now from Kenya.
Thanks, Cindy. I'm so grateful that you're here with us tonight, and I am doing okay. We've made it this year. It was 2020 has not been what I expected, but I can say that through everything, God has been really good to us here in Nanyuki and at Imara. I want to officially say hello from Nanyuki, Kenya. Thank you all for being part of Imara International's first online gala. We're so grateful for each one of you and for the continued prayers and support that you have given us over the last year. I know that things have been hard at home and that you have still thought about us and supported us, and I am very grateful for that. I would also like to say thank you to Imara International's Board of Directors, both in the United States and in Kenya. I thank God for all of you each day because you make the work that we do here on the ground possible. And I know I can say on behalf of everyone at Imara, thank you, and we're just so grateful for you. And last, I would like to say thank you to the Imara International Gala Committee. I know you've put in tireless hours to get this gala ready and online for us. So thank you so much for your work on that. We're all really grateful that we can be together tonight. Before I get started, I would like to tell you a little bit about the necklace that I'm wearing. This is a traditional samburu beaded necklace, and it was made for me by Mama Judy, Judy is one of our girls. She and Joel are part of our program. But when we sent the girls home during COVID, we went out to visit, and her mother had made this for me. I feel very honored that she would have taken the time to bead me this, but I just wanted to share it with you all tonight because it's just so fun. I just have to admit that I never thought that I would live through a global pandemic, and I certainly never thought I would do it 8,000 miles from home. Early on, I made a decision that I would stay in Kenya, even though the unknown of what was going on really scared me. And when Kenya closed its borders, it scared me even more. But still, I felt that God was calling me to stay. I stayed knowing that I couldn't get home even if I want to. And I also stayed knowing that if the pandemic had gotten really bad here in Kenya, there would not have been adequate medical facilities for everyone. But through it all, God has taken care of me. He has taken care of Imara. And really, if I had been at home, I probably would have been at more risk and a lot more bored than I would have been since I stayed in Kenya. The theme of this year's gala is a quote from the book of Esther. It comes at a time when the lives of the Jewish people hung in the balance. Esther was in a place of opportunity, but it took great bravery and courage for her to step out and speak on behalf of her people who had been treated unfairly, who had been marginalized and stigmatized and underrepresented. Though the teen moms in Kenya might not be in the dramatic position that the Jews were during the days of Mordecai and Esther, they still experience marginalization, unfair stigmas and treatment, and are often rejected. Unless they can hide the fact that they are pregnant, they aren't really welcome in schools, and most people will tell them that they are a bad influence on their peers and that they should stay away. With COVID-19, these problems have just exacerbated. In the last 7 months, teenage pregnancy in Kenya has skyrocketed. The girls that used to be protected in schools were now left vulnerable. They were hungry, they lacked security, and they lacked basic necessities like sanitary towels and other hygiene items. In 2020, it has been reported that there are almost 100,000 new cases of teenage pregnancy across Kenya. This number is shocking and overwhelming. Little girls have been compromised, and there are no systems to deal with these huge numbers of teens who are going to need support. Maybe, just maybe, we are not here by accident. God has uniquely placed Imara in Kenya in 2020. We have been working with teen moms for almost 10 years. We know their struggles and their fears as they give birth and become a mom and look at the opportunities of going back to school. Just perhaps God knew all along that we would be part of this unprecedented time. Maybe He has put us here for such a time as this. Even though many things have come to a screeching halt around the world, God has been moving things forward for Imara in amazing ways. I find it a bit strange, but when great things happen during times when they really shouldn't, you know that God is at work. Let me highlight just a few things that have happened over the last year. When the government closed all schools and children's homes at the end of March, Imara had to send most of our girls and kids home. We were left with only 7 moms and their children at Imara. It just happened that the 7 who remained happened to be the girls that I didn't really know that well. So over the months that they were quarantined in Imara, I got to spend quite a lot of time with them and get to know them. I treasure that time because I learned special things about each one of them. I learned that Lynette loves to sew. I also learned that Sylvia is a whiz in mathematics. I also know that wherever you see Felister, she has a praise song coming out of her mouth, and that she just generally approaches life with joy and enthusiasm. We also had two babies that were born during COVID, and thankfully, neither of them came after curfew. And for that, you don't know how grateful I am. The girls have been basically quarantined at Imara since March. The staff has been amazing, and together we have made it through a time that none of us expected to have to live through. Not only have the staff and moms at Imara been working hard, the Kenyan Board of Directors has met several times and has grown in size. Thanks to Zoom, we have been able to meet regularly even though we do not live in the same place. God has built and strengthened this team at just the right moment. They've brought amazing, on-the-ground, practical advice and knowledge, and they have taken a burden off my shoulders that I never thought would be lifted. And I can't even begin to express to you how grateful I am for each one of them. Brian, who has been our faithful board chairman since our beginning, finished his term as chair and has handed the reins to Pastor Tony Kiyama, who you heard from earlier. Let me tell you, Brian and Pastor Tony are a force to be reckoned with. Their leadership, along with the U.S. and Kenyan board members, has finalized the transfer of the title deed to the village property. We moved ahead with this, even though normally in an economic recession this would not be considered a good idea. First, because we felt that God was calling us to step out in faith. And second, because we realized that because we did not hold the title to the land, we were being exempted from certain monies and grants here in Kenya that could help us facilitate the building of the village. The Kenyan board feels very, very strongly that it is the job of Kenyans to support and help the teen moms here. They have stepped up and stepped out to make a difference in the lives of these teen moms, and to also create opportunities for other Kenyans to be part of Imara International. Speaking of grants, Imara International, through a friend at Safaricom, Kenya's largest cellular provider and inventor of the famous M-Pesa, received a grant of $500,000 Kenya shillings, which is about 5,000 US dollars, to help us buy supplies and equipment for our skills center. Over the next months, we will be getting new sewing machines, official salon chairs and basins, and other equipment needed to run a proper salon, and even a new oven for baking. What an amazing and unexpected gift during a year of turmoil. Currently, a few of our moms and kids have been sent, who had been sent home in March, have been allowed to come back to Imara. In the middle of October, it was announced that students who were signed up to sit for national exams were to return to school. Everyone who was coming back to Imara, which was 7 girls, had to go into quarantine for 2 weeks before they were able to enter the Imara campus. While they've been in quarantine, they have been studying hard. They are trying to make up for lost time and to prepare for these exams that are now scheduled to be held in March of 2021. Please pray for our national exam candidates. They are really stressed out, and they know that over the 7 months that they were away from school, that they have fallen behind in their studies. Your prayers will mean the world to them as they move forward and prepare for the exams that are only a few months away. We still have 4 moms and their children who have not returned to Imara. We are not sure when they will be allowed to come back, but we have visited each one of them, and we know that they are doing okay so far. We call them regularly, and every single time we call, they ask, "Is it time to come back yet? Can we please come back to Imara?" So we're praying that soon we'll be able to call them and say, "It's time, come back," because we're looking forward to having the whole Imara family back together again. Currently, I'm not sure what is going to happen in the coming months in Kenya. COVID is again on the rise like it is in so many other places, and there are rumors that the country may shut down again. It is hard to tell what will happen, as there are also rumors that Kenya will be opening all of its schools and will be fully back to school in just a couple of weeks. I guess we just have to wait and see what's going to happen and trust God for our future and for the unknown. As students return to school, the need to deal with the issues of teen pregnancy will become more and more important. God has put teen moms on our hearts here at Imara. We want to be ready to be part of the solution to the problem that Kenya is about to face. We want to be the voice of hope in the lives of these young girls who have found themselves pregnant due to the challenges that have come from COVID-19. Today, teen moms in Kenya hang in the balance. We want them to know that they are not alone, that they have great value, and that we are here to support them through their hard times. We want to be available and brave enough to step out and act in such a time as this. Thank you.
Carol, thank you so much. Your faith and commitment to the girls is so inspiring, especially through everything you faced in the last few months with COVID. Now, we're going to hear a little bit more from Carol in a few moments, but now it is my privilege to introduce the chairman of the Kenyan Board of Directors, Pastor Tony Kaima. Now, Pastor Tony is the senior pastor of River of God Church in Nairobi, and he is serving his very first term as Imara's Kenyan board director. Imara is very lucky to have him. Pastor Tony is somewhat of a prophetic voice in Kenya. In national emergencies, in crises, and celebrations, Pastor Tony is often called upon to offer up prayers, not only for the country, but for the people there. And in a very short time, he has had an incredible impact on Imara. And so we are so happy to hear from him tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Tony Kaima.
I bring you greetings in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. My name is Reverend Tony Kaima, the current chairman of the Kenya Imara Board. And what an honor and a privilege to serve. I want to begin by saying thank you to the people who put together this vision and the dream of establishing Imara Rescue Center. The atrocities that these teenagers have gone through are unexplainable. And I apologize on behalf of my countrymen, and may the Lord have mercy and forgive us. Bringing hope to a hopeless group of people, hopeless group of children, that now when I look into their faces, I can see life, I can see hope. I want to say thank you for all of you who have given previously, who are going to give tonight. And I pray that God will be with you. Just putting together Imara took, I'm sure, a lifetime of planning and sacrifice, and we are eternally grateful. When you go there and you see the faces of these girls, and currently, the government has no idea what to do. Teenage pregnancy is one of the crises that the government is facing right now, and they have no idea what to do. And I believe that Imara will have the blueprint in terms of coming up with a national solution on what to do with teenage pregnancy. Of course, I hope and pray that there will be measures put legally to protect these teenagers. And one day we'll have a place and a country where teenagers are safe and they can go to school, they can play. And because I think when a teenager gets pregnant and becomes a teenage mother, it's a child getting a child. You steal what, they lose what money can never buy back. But again, thank you. for being part of bringing hope to a hopeless group of children. And I hope that once they find that hope, once they find that hope, they will realize their dream in life. May God again have mercy on all of us. And thank you that you gave, so that one day these girls will stand and say that I still lived a full life. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Pastor Tony. And I think I can speak for all of us who are attending this virtual gala when we say, we're so glad you're with Imara, and welcome. Well, now we move on to another chair of the board. This one is from right here in Plymouth. Pete Thorpe is serving his second year as U.S. board chair, and while he may not be the prophetic voice of a nation like Pastor Tony, his story is very compelling nonetheless. Years ago, he attended this event, this gala, and he didn't know very much about Imara. He was a member of Messiah Church, but yet by the end of the evening, he said to his wife, I have to go to Kenya. Well, he did, and it changed his life. And he has been dedicated to the mission of Imara ever since. So here now to tell us more about his vision for Imara is your U.S. board chair, Pete Thorpe. Pete?
Thank you, Cindy. On behalf of Imara's board of directors, thank you for being with us this evening and your support of Carol and her mission. You know, Imara is the Swahili word for strong. And to the women, children, and staff watching this evening from Imara House, hello and thank you. Over these past months, you have shown us truly what it means to be strong. 2020 has been a challenging year for most everyone, and Imara is no different. But while there have been significant operating challenges, 2020 has also opened amazing opportunities. We've heard Carol speak to how Imara's Kenyan Board of Directors has led the way to remove barriers, allowing Imara to move forward with the construction of Imara Village, which will provide housing, school, and vocational training for an additional 50 families. The pandemic has forced Imara to be creative and provide what in the past would have been considered unconventional ways to deliver services and educational opportunities. We've heard that Imara has several young women sitting for national exams, something like a final exam for high school this coming spring. In many ways, the pandemic has forced Imara to become a better version of itself. We've also heard how the pandemic has indirectly caused the issue of teenage and preteen pregnancy to reach unimaginable proportions. This evening's theme comes from the book of Esther. You have been created for such a time as this, and it is so appropriate. The experience and wisdom learned since Imara's founding 10 years ago have uniquely positioned the mission to assist and provide counsel to Kenyan officials in response to the issue of teen pregnancy. So where are we this evening? Tonight, albeit virtually, we are in this place. Together, we are in this place at this time. I wonder if perhaps we have come to this place to support Imara for precisely this time, for precisely this moment. Again, thank you for being with us this evening and your support of the positive impact Carol and her staff are making in so many lives.
Pete, thank you. And thank you just for the incredible leadership you've had over the last couple of years. It's been profound. Thank you. All right, I want to take a quick note before we move on. We want to let you know the auction is open. It will be open until 8 o'clock tonight. So if you've bid on something, awesome, great. If you haven't, this would be a time. Bid once, bid twice, as many times as you can. So just a reminder, until 8 o'clock. Okay, now it's time to go back to Kenya and hear from two of the girls who were able to stay at Imara House during the worst of the COVID crisis. Now, as we heard from Carol, most of the girls were forced to leave, but thankfully, Sharon and Sylvia stayed. and they have a message for us tonight. So Sharon, Sylvia, take it away.
My name is Sharon Melanoi. I am in class 4. I am 13 years old. I am a Christian. I am Maasai from Kajiado County. I have a child. Her name is Catherine Tamara, who is 2 years old. She is not here because she is eating her snack. When I was outside and I realized I was pregnant, I was going through a lot of hardships. No food, no clothes, no hospital. I was devastated. Through God's miracle, I met a girl from Imara International. She was the one who told me about Imara. I was interviewed and I came. I was received with so much love and happiness. At Imara, I received everything: clothes, food, good medication, and an opportunity to join school. I thank God. At Imara, I saw things that I have never seen in my life. Things like a microwave, gas cooker, washing machines, and sewing machines. My hobby is playing football and baking. I want to tell my fellow girls who are outside Imara and have problems like I did earlier, do not worry, because God is there. And if ever you get an opportunity to come to Imara, you will be received well. It is very welcoming, and you will be provided with everything you need. I would like to thank God and our mother, Miss Carol. God bless her for loving all of us from her heart. I thank the boards, both the American and the Kenyan, the Imara staff. May God do you wonders. Thank you.
Kwa majina naitwa Sylvia Nasieku. Niko katika darasa 4, niko na miaka 16.
My name is Sylvia Nasieku. I am in class 4 and I'm 16 years old. I have a baby girl. Her name is Veronica Nashipai and is 6 months old. I am a Christian and a Samburu girl from Isiolo County. I thank God for this opportunity and I would like to tell my story. When I got pregnant, I was filled with a lot of worries. I knew I will not continue with my education and I will not be able to live with my parents. I thank God even in the middle of all my worries, a miracle happened. I got a place at Imara International. When I arrived at Imara, I was received very warmly. Imara is a place filled with love and peace. I was at ease because I met other girls like me who had children. The Imara staff received me well and have loved me like my own parents. Even with months of pregnancy, I was well taken care of. I was taken to a good hospital where I delivered comfortably and was blessed with a healthy baby. I thank God that I can continue with my studies and also raise my child well. When I came to Imara, I did not know anything about raising up a child, but through the Imara staff and other moms, I was able to do it well. I can understand the different stages in my baby's development. She now plays with toys and can turn herself. During this period of COVID-19, I have been lucky to continue with my education and I have improved in my skills. I have learned sewing, beading, and baking. I have sewn napkins, bibs, and pajamas that I did not know to do before. God has been faithful. I would like to encourage other girls who have babies like me, do not give up. You might get a chance to come to Imara. Imara is very welcoming. You will get to continue with your education. You will be able to raise your children well and get skills that will help you in the future. I thank the people who have helped us, the Imara board, both the American and the Kenyan, the donors, the Imara staff, and the Imara moms. God bless you as you continue to help girls like me. May you be blessed.
Thanks to you both. It is so good to see you both and, of course, to hear your stories, and best wishes from all of us here in America tonight. Now we're going to hear the words from one of the very first residents of Imara, and this is a young woman named Angelina. Angelina is very close to graduating from Imara and moving on with her little girl gift. Now, she wrote us a letter. Because of some language issues, this letter will be read by Imara's Director of Operations, Daisy. So, not to be confusing, these are the words of Angelina as read by Daisy.
Angelina Ngina wrote the following letter about Imara International. Unfortunately, we could not record her reading the letter. She's not currently at Imara because of the COVID pandemic. As soon as the government allows, she and Gift, her daughter, will return. She sent us this letter from her home in Kitui. My name is Daisy and I'll read it on her behalf. Dear friends and family of Imara, I am Angelina Ngina, age 22 years, with a daughter Gift of 8 years. I first take the opportunity to appreciate you for your kind and generous efforts. Thank you for being part of the gala and for continuing to support the mom and children at Imara International. I was the first mom at Imara and I will be graduating very soon. Your support has and will really help us, the Imara moms, to do well and improve in our education and skills. I will use what I have learned to mentor the other moms and teach them in beauty and hairdressing skills. Thank you very much, and may the Creator of the universe enlarge your boundaries. After all we have gone through, we really feel loved by you. Thank you. I personally joined Imara International when I was age 14 and a half and my child was 6 months old. This was after I was neglected by my own mother and family after giving birth at an early age. I felt it was the end for me and I had no one to turn to. But later, I realized it was the beginning of God's blessings. At Imara, I went through and did my KCPE and O-level certificate. I then proceeded and took a diploma in hairdressing and beauty therapy. I am still planning on taking my KCSE certificate, the Kenya High School exam, even though it has been delayed because of the coronavirus. What I have learned at Imara International has not only helped me to prepare for the future, but it has helped my family and I get through the hardships caused by COVID. Imara International has really provided for everything that I needed since I came and is still providing for both my daughter and I. It does not stop with me. We, all the moms of Imara, want to use what we have been given to make a positive impact in our communities and in Kenya. May God bless Imara International. Sincerely, Angelina Ngina.
Thank you so much, Daisy, and please give our best to Angelina as she begins a new life for herself and for her daughter. All right, we're going to rejoin Carol from Imara House as she has a special message and a request for all of us. Back to you, Carol.
Thank you, Cindy. We have almost come to the end of our very first online gala. We have had the opportunity to look at what has happened over the last year and to look forward to all that God is going to do in Imara's future. I want to take this opportunity to again say thank you. None of this would be possible without each one of you. At the end of the book of Esther, the holiday of Purim is established to remember the day that the Israelites were saved. It commemorates a time when the Jews gained relief from their enemies, when their sorrow was turned to gladness and their mourning into joy. I want today to be a day that we commemorate too. A day we look back on and say, wow, look at what amazing things God has done, even in the midst of a year like 2020. What if pregnant teens in Kenya also commemorate this day and commemorate the day when they came to Imara International? A day when they gained relief from the voices that told them that they have no future, that they aren't valuable. and that there is no hope. We today have the opportunity to be part of turning their sorrows into gladness and their mourning into joy. God called Esther for such a time as this, and maybe he is calling each one of us too, calling us to be part of a radical, life-changing solution for young Kenyan girls who have found themselves pregnant and feeling utterly alone. The book of Esther also tells us that help will come, but we have to decide, are we going to be brave enough to step out and be part of the solution? I have gotten to see firsthand the impact that Imara has on teenage mothers. I have seen the looks of relief on their faces as they learn that they are in a safe place where they are loved. And I can tell you right now that each and every moment that I spend at Imara International is worth it. It wasn't easy for Esther, and it certainly won't be easy for us as we move forward into these unprecedented times in Kenya. But I can tell you that the blessings will far outweigh anything else. Please give tonight as generously as you are able. Lives are depending on it. Thank you.
All right, Carol, thank you so much. Be well, be safe, and know how much we all care for you and the amazing job that you are doing in some really challenging circumstances. And of course, in the words of Esther, you have truly been created for a time such as this. And now for some final thoughts and remarks, I would like to bring back our U.S. Board Chair, Pete Thorpe. Pete.
Thank you, Cindy. Wow, what an amazing evening. So much in just a short time. Thank you. Thank you to the volunteers who put this evening together. You are so dedicated to Imara and its mission. Thank you to Carol and the Imara staff for changing lives and bringing love and hope into places where there was once darkness and despair. Thank you to all watching this evening. It is your support that makes this mission possible. And most importantly, thank you to the women and children watching from Imara House. Thank you for teaching us the meaning of Imara. Your strength and resilience are an inspiration to us all. Good night.